That's live. All right.
Yay!
Yay, we're live. All right. Let's get this party started. Let's see who's going to file in. Hopefully, Rebecca and a few others.
The
There's
expected
Rebecca.
people.
Aw, here's Rebecca. All right, everyone. Welcome to Chatgram Live. I am your host, Ken Watson of Watson KS. And our special guest is PRKristyna Torres, or Kristyna Torres, or is it Kristyna Cruz Torres? Girl, you got so many freaking names.
I know. I did that to myself. That's my own fault.
We're losing your audio.
Oh no.
Oh, there you are again. Yeah.
Oh, okay. That's weird.
Yeah, it's like it just kind of glitched out for a second.
All right. Well, hopefully we'll be good now for the rest of it.
All right,
I'm going to go live on Instagram too.
Hi, Instagram, even though you can't see me.
Yeah.
But, all right, so we are going to be talking Instagram versus Facebook algorithm and pretty much busting every freaking myth out there and telling people, hopefully, or at least we're busting myths that we know of as of this moment, because there's always ones popping out. And you know, basically
that's so true. That I feel like I don't know what I just went live on Instagram, like I don't even know what I did. Anyways, I feel like every time that there's a new algorithm change, there is like a new myth that comes out, and then people just continually like add their own, like, you know, I don't know, thinking process to how the algorithm works. And it's always just because they changed something, you know?
Yeah, and then, you know, unfortunately is with Facebook owning Instagram, therefore it gets translated to Instagram. Yeah. And yeah, that's one of the things we're going to be mentioning. It's just Instagram. Let's just go straight to the chase of Instagram algorithm is a different species than the Facebook algorithm.
No one thinks that because Facebook owns Instagram.
Yeah.
They think everything is all the same. It just looks a little different.
Yeah. And so, yeah, we're definitely going to get into that. It'll just, you know, but, you know, I know you mentioned, you know, as we're gearing up, let's just, you know, let's go straight into the one you mentioned right first off. When we were first starting live. Yeah. Right. I'm going blank now.
I think that at least when I work with clients or I see people on Facebook, and Instagram, really like a lot of places, but mainly Facebook and Instagram, I see people say there's ways to beat the algorithm. Like, you know, you'll have other marketers that are giving you like selling courses or trying to get you as a client, or just people that are searching, they're probably Googling ways, to be honest, of ways to beat the algorithm. And that's such like, it's just the wrong way to go about it. You really can't beat an algorithm. Like, it's not, you're not beating it necessarily at any point. You're just playing along.
Yeah. You're just basically, you're using it or working with it, or, you know, you just, you know, you can't beat or hack it.
No. And so I think that's really where you need to start, is realizing that there's like, you can't beat an algorithm. Facebook is 10 steps ahead of us at all times.
Yeah.
They know what to expect.
And that's something is also, it's just, there's no surefire way, because it's like, we're just working off the observation and data that we can only see, because that's only, Facebook doesn't really reveal 100% of how the algorithm works. So there is no foolproof way to beat the algorithm, because no one knows all the information.
Nice? I know. And as much research as we do as social media people, you know, like that's a daily job for us. That 24/7, we're constantly, you know, chatting back and forth about, oh, did you see this algorithm update? Look what's coming out, or, you know, that type of thing. But it's because Facebook is revealing it to us by choice. It's not because we found it and Facebook doesn't know about it, you know?
Yeah, and it's like, and then about every 6 months, Facebook takes the Etch a Sketch and shakes it all up and starts all over, and we have to, it's a whole new game for us.
Draw the picture. Yeah, I know, and so, and that, I mean, this is a totally different topic, but that's the main reason I tell my clients, like, do not hand your social media over to an intern or to your 15-year-old kid, or, like somebody that just knows how to use filters really well and that type of thing, because it really is an algorithm thing, like, that constantly changes, and you can't just assume that just because you post something and it looks pretty that it's going to work, because the algorithms change so often.
Yeah.
And we don't have any control over that.
Yeah, and that's the thing, and that's I'm trying to that's, I say, like, the one constant, at least with the Instagram algorithm, is there's tweaks here and there, but overall it's still the same. And whereas
Constant.
and that's the thing, it's a little easier to work with. I'm not gonna say hack or but
no, you can play along though. You can play along with the algorithm. Yeah. You're not hacking it, but you're playing along.
Yeah, and it's also, I think it's also frustrating for people, because there is the personal versus page rankings in the algorithm. On the Facebook side of things, is that's the one thing that's I think really getting people going right now. And it's like, luckily at the moment Instagram doesn't do that type of sorting. It's basically business and personal are created equal.
So so let's start talking about maybe Instagram and how business, because they were one of the later ones that went with business pages. I mean, Facebook has had business pages for the last 5 years now, and Instagram didn't do that until the last year, really.
Yeah, about last year or two or so.
Yeah, maybe 2. Yeah, it's more recent.
So Rebecca's like, my nephew's on Facebook. I'll have him do it. Jeez.
No, Rebecca.
Don't do it.
And that I hear so many people say that. Oh, my teenager or my intern or my college student that is working for us for the summer is taking over our social media. And I mean, it's like handing over your entire marketing department to somebody that basically just knows how to use face filters. That's really what it is. I mean, you can't do that. And that, like I said, that's a totally different live. I could get on a soapbox and talk about that one all day long, but we won't get into it.
It's like the number one pain in our collective social media marketing asses is just the whole either college student, intern, or we'll use our kid or
right. So I have a question on my Instagram live. They are asking Instagram, incorporated business pages. Do you think it's because that's about when Facebook purchased Instagram?
No, when they released business pages a few years after the purchase. It was to create that separation, just because there was so many businesses taking a hold of Instagram that they needed to get that capability, the reporting capability and all that done. Better sorted.
I think that's a good point, because the algorithms, they change. The only way you can really track the way they change sometimes is through that reporting and the analytics. So it wasn't necessarily exactly at the same time that Facebook purchased it. Facebook might have had the idea, hey, we need to incorporate business pages. Eventually, it might have been their baby that they wanted to grow and expand on. But I think it probably eventually would have happened either way had Facebook not purchased Instagram, and if Instagram had just been its own entity, if it still was. I think eventually it would have happened, because too many businesses are trying to do business on social media.
And
that it's hard to not have business pages.
Yeah, I mean, it was such a pain too, because like when everything was just a personal profile, is like you had the URL option and that was it in the bio, and there was like no other contact buttons. There was no it was like all the fancy bells and whistles we have now that didn't exist 2 years ago.
So much more, and people are so anti-business pages, and I don't understand why, because you have access to so much more when you're on business pages.
Yeah, and part of that also is the fear factor with business from Facebook's side of things, because Facebook pages have a less ranking in the algorithm, versus personal, whereas basically on Instagram there is no higher priority. It's and unfortunately that's one of the things that has translated over to from Facebook to Instagram.
And so having Facebook ranking differently with business pages and with personal pages, and then having Instagram kind of keep the same. I mean, you can't always tell the difference between a business page and a personal page on Instagram. It really, unless it's blatantly obvious, you have to kind of do your due diligence and dig a little bit to see what if there's a difference in their profile. But if you're just scrolling through the timeline, it's just another image,
Yeah, it's a post. It's just a generic. It's just a post. There's no special meaning to it.
But Facebook has very significantly differentiated the two between personal and business, to the point that your post even says sponsored on it. If you boost it now, it used to just be, it would say sponsored if it was just an ad.
Yeah.
But now even if you boost it, now it says sponsored. So they want you to know there's some money behind this post, no matter what. So they're really trying to differentiate, like, this is a business and this is personal pages. And they want to be very open about that, which isn't a bad thing.
Yeah. Let's see what we got here. We got Monica. I think it's what's going on in the country. We will never really know. Focus on the content, test times, hashtags, imaging, and find your sweet sauce. Absolutely. Yeah,
I'm soaking in her comment right now. Focus on the content. Yeah, testing times too. That's such a big thing. Hashtags, and you've had so many live shows about hashtags and just talking about the myths behind hashtags, and that's a whole topic in itself.
Yeah.
And shadow banning and all of that. And
you said the S word.
If my Instagram audience right now could see Ken's face, he just rolled his eyes off the screen when I said shadow ban. But, yeah, it's a myth, people. It's a myth. It doesn't actually happen. You're playing the algorithm wrong, is what it is. And so Cheval he jumped onto Instagram. He's saying hi to everyone, so I had to give a shout out to Cheval. But so with Facebook, I think everybody assumes that because Facebook bought out Instagram, that everything is the same, and it's not any different. And so going back to the fact that you have business pages and you have personal pages, talking a little bit about how the Facebook algorithm works, and maybe it'll help people understand why Instagram is different. At least just my take on it, and people, there's facts behind it, but then there's also people's personal experiences with the actual algorithm themselves. But the fact behind it is the more that you engage with somebody, the more they'll show up in your timeline.
Yeah.
And so if you have a business page and you click like and share on all of their posts, you'll see that business pop up in your timeline a lot more often.
Yeah. Yeah, it's basically, at least with, I would say is, with both sides of the algorithm is you are in control of, basically, if you interact with those accounts more often, you're going to see them in your feeds more often, no matter which side, Instagram or Facebook. It's just, Facebook has a little bit more behind the scenes sorting than what, Instagram does.
Right. And that really, I think, is the key, is all that sorting that Facebook does. without you realizing it. And we talk all the time about how, I clicked on something for pet food or something, or I was shopping on Amazon for something, and now I'm seeing the ad show up in my Facebook feed. Facebook has a lot more going on behind the scenes than I think people realize or give them credit for. But to be honest, I don't mind it. Like, I like having relevant ads show up. I don't want to see something that's not relevant to me.
Exactly. And unfortunately I think a lot of people are starting to have that problem is when, everything blew up with Facebook and the controversy of tracking and all that is when people did that, that basically I call the nuclear option where you set yourself to ground zero, and blew everything up. Well, now it's time to re-identify your interests. And so you're going to see a lot of ads that are not relevant to you if you did that option.
If you're clicking on something that isn't relevant to you, you're going to see it show up in your timeline. I mean, your activity, that's what it's taking, the algorithm off of. It's your activity, basically. And so, we were just talking about that post that's going around, that it's this spammy post, and I had done an Instagram and a Facebook post on it saying, people, please stop sharing this post. This is ridiculous. About how if you, Facebook is sorting your posts for you and showing you what they want you to see, not what you want to see. And if you comment on the post, then they'll see you more often. Or if you comment on their post, then
is like you have to pick 25 friends or something like that, and
like 25 friends. They had a number on it too. Isn't that weird? And so, I was like, people, like, what are you thinking? This is not how the algorithm works. It's if you engage with people, like, you can't just put up a post and ask people to comment on it. You actually have to do the engaging. And that doesn't make sense to people for some. I don't know where this post came from or who created it, but I mean, maybe they should be a social media manager because they easily make things go viral.
Yeah, I'm just thinking, like, we need to start just something, just see if we can get it to take off. Like, I don't know, Facebook shadow banning. Let's start. Let's see, what can we do to that?
Shadow banning is something now, right? What? I'm going to get banned by Zuckerberg now because I just said that out loud. That's the thing. I feel like every other month I get banned by Zuckerberg, and now it's going to happen again because he just heard me say that on a live video. No.
Let's see. Okay.
It's not a thing.
Let's see. Yes. Yeah. Let's see. How true is it that using hashtags on Facebook hurts your reach?
That is my sore spot. Hashtags on Facebook. Let's talk about that one.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think it really. I think there is some data that that shows that it potentially hurts your reach. Not so much that it hurts your reach, it's just it is not that it really benefits your posts. But I'll let you go into it.
You want me to step on my soapbox about hashtags on Facebook? So the reason I have a problem with hashtags on Facebook is because people don't just put their branded hashtag or a trending hashtag for the day. They'll either go to Instagram and auto share from Instagram onto Facebook 30 hashtags in their post because it's already in their post and they're just auto sharing the post. Or on Facebook, for some reason, they just add all these spammy hashtags. And I mean, first of all, you shouldn't be using spammy hashtags in the first place. Don't just spam the crap out of a hashtag. That's going to hurt. The algorithm catches up on to that. Also, it watches what you're posting within hashtags, and it's pretty smart. But the reason that I don't like hashtags on Facebook is because you don't need them. When you search for something on Facebook, you can just search for something on Facebook. You don't need to put a hashtag before it. And so you can just search Tuesday tips without a hashtag, and anything that says Tuesday tips on it will come up in your search. It has nothing to do with putting a hashtag in front of it. Now on Instagram, they have a different algorithm going, and so that's different. So you don't have to put hashtags on Facebook, But if you have a branded hashtag, or if you want everything to be trackable under one hashtag, then yeah, go ahead and use a hashtag on Facebook so that everything falls into that same conversation. But don't just put like hashtag Houston for no reason, you know what I mean? Or hashtag social media or something like that. You know, like Chatgram Live, like if Ken writes Chatgram Live into the post, it'll show up in anything. But if you put hashtag Chatgram Live and somebody else is putting hashtag Chatgram Live, you can search that hashtag in the post and find just the hashtag. That's a branded hashtag. That's a little different. It's a branded hashtag. Like, use your branded hashtags, but don't just put like hashtag Instagram for no reason.
Yeah, or like you say, your core Instagram hashtags, you don't want them being carried over because it's just there really is no benefit. It's just because it's just because one of the like I honestly I don't know if Facebook ever corrected this, but there was the problem of hashtags were workable with the app, but not so much with the desktop. And I don't know if they ever reconciled that error, but there's just as part of and part of it was they knew they had to get hashtags working, so they just implemented on the app side of things, not on the actual desktop side of things. And I
think that happens a lot, that things are rolled out on either desktop or the app and not both sometimes. That it's like, we'll give it to you here or we'll give it to you there, but we're not going to give it to you in both spots the same way sometimes.
Yeah, that's the lovely update teases that they do.
I know, right? And it's always like a play, we'll see something come out saying, oh, an algorithm change is coming out. Sometimes they'll give us, that notice like, hey, you log into Ads Manager that day and it says like there's an algorithm change coming up, or we're changing something about your Ads Manager 3 months from now, and they'll give you notice about it, which is nice because then we can do research and start tracking and do all those things for our clients and for ourselves, for our own brands, so that by the time it does come out, we feel prepared. But then sometimes it's just like, surprise, this doesn't work anymore.
Like the AP, like all of a sudden the API changes wasn't in April. Like, hello.
I know, and the API changes really it's because it affected auto sharing and scheduling posts and everything that we do as social media managers. It changed so much more than just logging onto Facebook or logging onto Instagram.
Yeah,
and it's like that's why it blew up so much.
Yeah, and then it was they restricted all these other extra third-party apps, and like the because the chat bots were really taken off, and then they cut them off, and then or as like but with people sort of like with algorithms, they jumped the gun. Is basically they disconnected the chat bots, but they didn't realize if you left it connected, it was still operational, but as soon as you disconnected it, it was no longer operational.
See, yeah. And that's why you need people like us to test those things. I get so many questions all the time about chatbots. We should probably do another video about chatbots at some point. About chatbots. I would say on a weekly basis, I probably get questions about chatbots. And that should be a lesson to people that you can't just automate something and make it work and assume that it's always going to work, because like that last API update, they decided, you know what, if you're using chatbots, we're going to change things on you. And so you have to be prepared for, one day you log in and it's not working anymore.
Yeah, I mean, it's, because was it January, when Facebook did the massive bombshell, algorithm changes, and then everyone freaked, but we adjusted, yes, things kind of took, most people saw a little bit of a dip, but we're.
And that's pretty normal. With algorithm changes, I almost always see, not always, but almost always, I almost always see a decrease in reach or engagement or something within the analytics when there's an algorithm update. But it forces you to dig into the algorithm, change the way that you post things to make sure you're playing the game correctly, and then continue to move on.
Yeah, or it's just or people. I noticed especially, like when scheduling things out or whatever, it's just, well, I always schedule things to go out at noon. Well, I'm like, well, is your audience active at noon? It's
right.
it's,
That, and that's another thing. I think that with Instagram and Facebook, there's a little bit of a difference there in the algorithm when you schedule things. Say, like you just mentioned, scheduling things at noon. If you post something at noon on Instagram, your audience has to be on there at noon to see it pop up right away.
Yeah.
And on Facebook, if you boost it, you can target your audience past noon pretty easily because you're putting some money behind it and you're giving them some dollars, On Instagram, you really have to play that time tracking game a little bit more than you do on Facebook, I think. Would you agree?
Yeah, because that's only I would say almost daily looking at insights on my accounts and accounts I manage, just because as your audience, your following fluctuates, so does your time, so does your timing, and because like one account last week lost 200 followers just because Instagram apparently did a cleanup, and
I love those Instagram.
Yeah, it's like literally overnight, 200 followers were gone. I'm like, okay, but that also changed the timing of things, because I'm like, the audience was no longer, say, active on at a Wednesday at around around 1-ish or whatever time it was, So I was like, so I'm like, okay, so you have to shift things more, and like with Facebook, it's like, I know I always kind of, my sort of underlying rule is just you want to count that 24 hours, get it out 24 hours in advance at least, because that way it gives time for people to see the post more because of the algorithm.
Well, not only that, but Facebook takes their time in approving things.
Mm-hmm.
And if you don't boost or put out your ad, I'd say at least 48 hours ahead sometimes. I've seen things not get approved for like 2 days. And I don't know what's going on at Facebook that day. If they just took a vacation, they're on field trips that day, or everybody's in the nap pods that day.
It was like, about like 2 months ago, there was some post I was trying to boost. It took like 4 days. I'm like, dang.
It's like not relevant anymore. And so, so I think with Facebook, you do have to make sure you're getting your boost and your ads out before the actual thing is happening. Whereas on Instagram, if you post it, like, you posted, hey, we're going live on Chatgram Live, and people see it right away on Instagram without a problem. Facebook, I think, holds that back a little bit more. And so, Valentina. Thanks, Valentina.
I think we woke her up with the chat bots.
And she's one of the ones that asks me about chatbots. That's funny. As much as I love you, Valentina, that's a whole different chat. We'll chat on the side about that one.
Yeah, because I just started poking around with chatbots like a couple months ago, but unfortunately, it was just literally poking around.
Yeah. Well, I feel like they change things with chatbots so often. Like at first they were open to them, and then they were like, wait, this is getting really convoluted, so now we're going to take it away. And then they brought it back, and they're like, okay, you can use them, but we're going to watch you.
Yeah.
And I'm just waiting for them to take it away and say, you know what, no more chatbots. And so it's a day-to-day thing, I feel like, or a month-to-month.
Well, it's also like what I'm noticing is like if you go in like on the business manager and stuff like that, there are settings that Facebook is rolling out for like their own internal chatbots. Like so I'm feeling it's gonna be more internal stuff.
They want control over it. And you know what's funny? I almost sent you a screenshot the other day because you and I have the same phone. When the update came out, what was that, like? Within the last week?
Yeah.
I noticed when I logged in, I didn't log in. I clicked on my contacts. There's a new
the chatbots
tab for chatbots. So Android is like, for some reason, updating everything just for chatbots.
Yeah, it was also like, a lot of companies too that I don't even use. Like, was it like 1-800-Flowers or or?
Yeah, I've never called 1-800-Flowers in my life, but it's there. I guess it's just a new way to give people or to put ads in front of people's faces. But I mean, I'm probably rarely ever going to click on it, but it's there. So you're right, though. It's probably more of an internal thing now rather than a third party sort of thing.
Yeah, because I know, like, like their biggest trusted ones was it Mini Chat. Yeah, I think that's the one I've been playing with. But yeah, it's I have a feeling it's going to become more internalized, and I'd say a lot of Facebook, a lot of Instagram stuff is going to start becoming more internalized, and because of the misuse of third party stuff.
And I think things typically, as far as like those algorithm changes go, they roll out on Facebook first, and especially on the business pages. And then once I feel like you kind of weed through the bugs, you eventually see something happen on Instagram. But Instagram is still so community minded. And I mean, you still see so much personal stuff on Instagram. It's not as like, business savvy, I guess, as Facebook.
Yeah.
Victoria.
Yeah, I think it's, because it's with Instagram is just, since, profile and business are created equal, there's not that huge difference. There's still, basically everything still operates the same way.
So that's interesting. Victoria just popped up and said, I'm still seeing Instagram posts from a day ago. And that's because they changed their algorithm at one point from...
it was like March or April. I'm trying to think.
Yeah, it wasn't too long ago.
Yeah, it's the way
it used to be like you would only see certain ones that were recently posted. But you can change that now.
Yeah, there's like I forgot what some of the variables were that it's basically it's still trying to show you like the counts that you favor the most, but maybe you missed from a day or so ago. It's like I think it's like a 2 or 3 day time period.
But yeah, so you should if you see posts from profiles that are older than just like recently posted, it's because you engage with those accounts. It's probably not because they're just irrelevant accounts that you never engage with. And so that's something that I haven't tested though. And so, but Instagram did change their algorithm a few months ago, or a little more than a few months ago.
Yeah,
so that you would still what you missed while you were gone.
Yeah, that's the big variable is it depends. It really depends on how active you are in the app. If you're checking it, say every hour, so you're going to see more content, and it's going to because
you'll see what was just posted. Yeah.
Yeah, because I think I've only seen it about 2 or 3 times actually. Where you get that notification of you've seen it all for the last 2 days, and I'm like, that kind of actually made me depressed because I'm like, I spent that much time.
Every 2 seconds, if you've seen it all of what was posted in the last 2 days.
Yeah, it's like I got that notification. I'm just like, okay, I just now feel depressed because that means I have seen that much content.
Every post of everyone you follow, which is a lot of people.
Yeah, that was just like, okay. I think I needed to step away from my phone for a while.
Put your phone down. Walk outside and see the sun, Ken.
Yeah, but that means okay, that Instagram itself has literally shown me everything from the last 2 days. So and also to me though, that also helps reinforce of it's not hiding content. It's just you haven't seen it. Yeah,
it's not hiding. Yeah, you're right. That means that shadow banning isn't a thing.
I know.
But as his eyes roll off the screen again.
But I mean that's unfortunately with
that
Facebook.
Is a nice...
I was going to say with Facebook, there is that they to me as I think Facebook shadow banning is more theoretical possible than say.
To be honest, I mean, Facebook is the one hiding stuff from you because if you're not engaging with it, it's gone. I mean, you're never going to see it. And so I always tell people, if your best friend from high school, if you rarely click on anything, but they post something on Instagram, you probably will still see it on Instagram if you're following them. You might. If they posted something on Facebook and you never engage with them, you probably have to go to their profile to actually go click on and engage and comment and share and do all of those things to tell the Facebook algorithm, hey, this is someone that I really want to see, and give them like a little nudge that, yeah, I want them to show up in my timeline.
Let's see. Yeah, okay. Valentina.
Valentina's talkative today.
It drives me a little crazy how I can engage with an account. I don't even get to see anymore. If you follow more than 100 accounts, it's virtually impossible to keep up.
Yeah.
Welcome to our world.
That's social media. It didn't used to be like that. I mean, but people didn't follow thousands of accounts, years ago. And now it's just so easy to follow because everybody's on social media. It's easy to follow everybody. And I mean, it's impossible to see all that content.
Yeah, and so this is, I wish Instagram would roll out basically a version of Twitter lists. That way you can just earmark all your favorite accounts and just go to that list and just scroll right through and see everything. And
that would be nice. I do like that about Twitter, that Twitter offers you multiple options it's not just one list either. You can make multiple lists within Twitter. If you just want to see these type of people and then those type of people and whatnot, and then go check out their content. That would be awesome if Instagram, hey, Instagram.
Yeah, I've been yelling at Instagram to implement this for like 5 years now, but.
Hey, that would be nice, but that's a Twitter thing.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Yeah, I know Facebook tried rolling out their version of lists, which was a massive flop because the algorithm still affected that anyway as well, and it was just.
Well, they put an algorithm behind anything. So if Facebook's going to do a list, it's going to have an algorithm. I mean, they even put an algorithm behind groups. Like your group posts show up in your timeline with everything else when you're a part of that group. There's an algorithm behind that. And so.
Victoria. Facebook lists. Actually, I think there is rumors that they're going to get rid of the Facebook lists, but.
I think they actually are. I think you're right. Because I don't think people are using them.
Yeah, it's like it's just unfortunately it's just one of those underutilized things because once again, one of Facebook's problems is they bury things and it makes it hard to find certain things, and now it's one of them.
Yeah.
And I was like, I did, okay, she was like, I do that with save posts on Instagram. Yeah, I do the same thing as I sort of create a list of accounts to look at, but but then you're having to go to each account and then. Let's see. Actually,
you post on Instagram. I mean, I guess that's probably the best way to get around it.
Let's see. Hey guys, Facebook is so hard. Any tips? Whew.
Have you been watching?
Sorry, Jason. I accidentally scrolled past you. Didn't quite. Yeah, this thing kind of all of a sudden just buffered up a whole bunch of comments.
Facebook, and that's why. We kind of jumped on today because Facebook is hard. Like Ken said earlier, Instagram doesn't differentiate between personal and business like Facebook does. And Facebook really, really plays the algorithm. And so, but honestly, the best tip that I can give anybody is engage with people. That's the only way to get around the algorithm is to engage, like genuinely, not with a bot. Like genuinely engage on people's posts and get to know people through their social media profiles. And that is the only way that you'll grow your followers, that you'll grow your engagement, that you'll grow your brand, like at least from my perspective.
Yeah. I mean, that's something that's, like when I work with clients and all that, and just people, or just talking to people is like basically you want to create a tribe. Is basically these are going to be your go-to people that are going to also, when you engage with them, they're going to engage back with your stuff, which helps your basically it's just you're building a tribe. And or I'm also like I like to think of it, I'm collecting people so that way I can
don't collect people. People shouldn't be collected. Like don't collect people. No, and lately, for some reason, I've seen an insane amount of Facebook friend requests come through.
Mm-hmm.
And so I don't know if people are collecting people, if that's what they're doing, if they're collecting people. And they're strangers. These are people I don't know, which I'm okay with people I don't know wanting to connect with me. Some people are not okay with that. They want to know that person first. I'm okay with it. But I'm going to look at your profile. And if you instantly message me after I click confirm and either hit on me or sell me something or like you're just super spammy, and then I'm going to unfriend you and I might even block you, you know, like genuinely be a human on social media. You can't just collect people. You have to engage with people as a genuine human.
Yeah, and then that's what, because it's also it's just like I call it, like the ding dong ditch is basically if you post and run, well that's not going to help you out, and it's basically you want to engage with people because then they're going to engage back with you, and basically it's a relationship, and honestly that's both Facebook and Instagram. That really is across the board. Yeah, I mean, it's basically the social media thing. Is back to you got to be social, people. You have to be social on social media. It's not a press release. Media, when you add the word social, you have to be social. You're right. You can't like ding dong ditch and post and leave and then say the algorithm doesn't work because you're not playing to the algorithm. Like that's not how it works. Yeah, I mean, or it's like you use these bots, to leave, auto likes, auto comments, auto follows, and all that. I mean, I know certain individuals who say these services work. I'm like, because they'll dish out the numbers, but I'm like, you can manipulate the numbers. Like, you can manipulate the numbers to work any way, which way you can. But people see right through it though. And so just because your follower number says you have 100,000 followers, if you go and look at those people's posts, and this is Instagram, if you go and look at those people's posts, I mean, someone with 100,000 followers should have a pretty decent engagement rate on their posts. It shouldn't be like 10 likes on a post. And if that's what you're seeing, they probably bought followers. And if you click on their followers, you can probably tell if those are real people or not. Yeah, I mean, or they can have an insane amount of likes, and look at their comments, and you're like, these are bot comments coming back, and likes and comments. Or it's like if I do a quick number crunch and I see that you have 50,000 followers, but your engagement rate is 0.25, I know something's up. Yeah. It's not, and it's sad that so many brands, they'll go after these influencers, quotes, that have, 50,000 followers, but they're not doing the number crunching like you are to see that, you have less than 1% engaging with you. And they're going to bring on this brand ambassador that it really doesn't matter that they have 50,000 followers because they probably would have been better off with someone with 5,000 followers. Yeah. And that's like, that's why I like, these, the new age of, micro influencers, because, I mean, the smaller accounts have a better targeted area to go after. They do. Well, their followers actually know who they are. Yeah. Personally, sometimes. A lot of times. I'm just trying to think of, is there any other areas of the algorithms we haven't busted yet? No, I mean, like, I think we've kind of covered everything, just that, like, Facebook business and Facebook personal are two different algorithms. That you can't hack an algorithm. That's not a thing. No. You have to play the algorithm. And that Instagram treats personal and business the same, but it's more about engagement and being genuine. Not that it isn't on Facebook, because it is, but you can put a sponsored post on Facebook and it'll be shown to you differently than it would be on Instagram. Instagram really, and unfortunately, there's so many bots on Instagram. You don't see that as much on Facebook. But I think they're getting to the point
where they're really fighting those now because they're realizing what's happening.
Yeah. That's what, yeah, I would say is, that's one thing I am happy with Instagram is they're definitely being more aggressive with the bots than Twitter was.
Yeah.
Because I was thinking, Twitter allowed the bots to go rampant for years, whereas Instagram, about a year ago, they said enough is enough, and we're shutting y'all down. And unfortunately, though, it's like a freaking game of whack-a-mole. When you shut one down, another one pops up.
That's just people trying to beat the algorithm. That's people not taking the time to engage genuinely with other people and get to know their tribe, like you said, and cultivate a tribe. And so you can't beat the algorithm, people. You can't. You have to play as a real person, as a real human, and be social on social media. That if you take anything out of this live video, I hope that's it, to be honest.
Yeah, basically, we've been speaking for 50 minutes, and to boil it down to one point, be real.
Be a person. 50 minutes later, it all comes down to be a person.
It took 50 minutes just to say, be a person.
Right? Yeah, we should probably wrap it up.
Yeah. Wrap this up, because I don't know about you, but I'm starving and I need lunch.
Yeah, I'm actually getting to drink my coffee today because you forced me to actually work for an hour straight instead of taking breaks to do other things. And so I actually get to refill for a second cup of coffee today.
Yeah, my cup's empty.
You need a refill.
Yeah, well, actually, I probably should cut myself off because that was cup number 5.
Yeah. So, well, thanks for having me.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you. And to everyone, thank you for coming. This recording will be up on the Facebook page. It'll also be on YouTube and my blog. And then I'm also now on Medium. So there is no excuse for not seeing this.
Yeah. And it's shared on my page. And I went live on Instagram from my end. I don't know how well people can hear you on my Instagram feed. But if you guys want to catch it, then go to Chatgram Live on Ken Watson's page, and you can check catch the live feed. So.
Yeah. All right.
All right.
Everyone,
see you guys later.
Thank you. And everyone have a good time, and I'll see you again on the first Tuesday of September. Which let me check the calendar before I just spot off a day, which is
Labor Day.
4th. That's the Tuesday after Labor Day for the U.S. people. All right, folks. Thank you for joining. Let's end this.
Bye.